This marks the end of the honeymoon period for Harris and raises questions about her electability. I want to take a closer look at Kamala Harris's declining numbers. The latest polling data has raised serious concerns about Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party. Despite favorable media coverage, the numbers show a clear downward trend, and particularly in key battleground states. National polling often provides a skewed view, so it's crucial to dive deep into the data, especially in swing states where elections are decided. And the narrative is shifting. And today, we'll go a little deep into that, and why Kamala Harris's support is faltering, and how this may impact the upcoming election. Kamala Harris has enjoyed extensive media backing, with coverage that often frames her in a positive light. Yet as we look beyond these headlines, the reality in polls paints a different picture. Despite softball interviews and favorable debates, the disconnect between media portrayal and voter sentiment is growing. Major pollsters, including Rasmussen and New York Times, are showing that support for Harris is slipping, especially in crucial swing states. This marks the end of the honeymoon period for Harris and raises questions about her electability. One of the most telling signs for trouble for Harris is the shift in support from traditionally Democratic-leaning labor unions. The Teamsters Union, a major player in U.S. politics and historically backed Democratic candidates, in a stunning twist, their internal polling shows nearly 60% of the rank and file members favoring Donald Trump over Harris is something new. This is a significant departure from the past elections and speaks to a broader trend of working-class voters gravitating towards Trump's populist message. Such shifts in key constituencies should not be taken lightly, as they could drastically affect the outcome of the election, which they can easily. Now you've got the battleground states, which really is the key to victory to 270. In any U.S. presidential election, the focus is not on national polls, but on individual states, especially swing states. The electoral college system means that candidates must win states like Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina to secure that victory. And let me tell you something, recent polls show Trump leading Harris in these very states, ranging from 2 to 5% points. That's a lot.
Clear. Do you think the economy is better under Trump? And hands up if you think the economy is better under Biden and Harris. Why? Okay, 7-1. That's pretty clear. The truth.
Trump's edge in these battlegrounds could be decisive. Harris faces an uphill battle to secure the blue wall states like Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Without all three, her path to presidency becomes nearly impossible. Whereas Trump has multiple routes to victory. It's quite clear. Now, what about that Democratic shift, the Hispanic vote? Another alarming trend for Harris is her weakening support among Hispanic voters, a demographic that has traditionally leaned heavily Democratic.
What's up? What's good, my baby? What's good, Trump Latino?
Trump 2024!
Trump 2024!
Let's go!
Get out here! For Donald Trump, right here. Latino. Hey, there you go. To go inside the rally, right here we got the Latinos for Trump.
Historically, there has been a 30-point gap between Republican and Democratic candidates in this group, but recent polling indicates that Trump has significantly closed that gap. In Arizona, Harris's support among Latinos has dropped by 11%. That's pretty big. In just the last month, mind you. This erosion of support in key demographics, combined with the shifting landscape in swing states, underscores the precarious position Harris finds herself in as the election draws near. You know, it's also worth noting that polling data may underestimate Trump's actual support due to the shyness factor. You ever heard of that? It's where some voters may be hesitant to publicly declare their support for Trump. This phenomenon has been observed in previous elections, where Trump's support in polls consistently lagged behind his actual performance on election day. If this pattern holds true, once again, Harris's situation could be even more dire than the current numbers suggest, which is a big up for the Trump campaign. So overall, the latest polls reveal a worrying trend for Kamala Harris and the Democrats. And despite favorable media coverage, Harris is losing ground in crucial swing states, and demographic shifts further complicate her path to victory. The Teamsters Union's break with the Democratic Party is a stark reminder that voters' sentiment is not statistic, and working-class voters are increasingly aligning themselves with Trump. As we move closer to the election, The race remains highly competitive, with Trump gaining momentum in key states. The next few months will be critical for both campaigns, but as it stands, Harris's road to 270, those electoral votes, is far from assured, and we're looking forward to that.